Hi, I'm Amy Jackson of the Perch, and if you are feeling like this season is especially noisy and busy, this is the practice for you. So I want to just recognize that no matter if we are in pandemic life or normal life or whatever our new normal might be, the holiday season is always busy, it is always noisy. Even if we're not surrounded by noise, technical, actual noise around us, there's a lot of noise internally in our hearts and minds. And it can be really difficult to settle down, settle in, relax. A lot of people have trouble sleeping around the holidays because there's just so much to do. Our minds are constantly running with the to-do lists, with the places to go, the presents to buy, all of the things, right? All the things to remember and do in a very short amount of time. And so I think the best way that we can combat that natural just noise and busyness is to intentionally build in stillness into our routines. And it might just be little tiny pockets of time. It might just be little bits of things, but I want to encourage you to find some stillness and quiet within your day, each and every day. So a couple of ideas for you. I've got 5. Number 1, one of my very favorite things to do during the holiday season is to sit at night with the quiet lit Christmas tree and just enjoy. Oh my goodness, have a hot, mug of tea and just sit and enjoy. Oh, it's the best. It's totally the best. There's so much symbolism as we look at the lights on the tree, and I always feel nostalgic just looking at all of our ornaments, and it's such a lovely time. So if you can find a couple of minutes to sit and just stare at your lit tree in silence at night, oh my goodness. Even if it's 5 minutes, do it. Totally do it. All right, second idea. Take a walk. And I would encourage you, get outside, take a walk, and don't take your headphones. So no music, no podcasts. I think, I love catching up on music and podcasts, and I've actually been listening to conference sessions while I'm on my walks, but it's adding more noise. So if you can, even for a short part of your walk, just enjoy the stillness and the silence and listen to the noises of nature around you and see what you notice and ask God what God's inviting you to see. So just walk and be. That is one of my favorite ways of finding stillness in this season. All right, number 3, do an art project. Do something creative. And so I say this because a lot of us, it's really difficult to be still and silent and quiet, which is totally fine. Absolutely. The stillness we're trying to get that internally more than anything. And so sometimes to be totally in a silent room is not healthy for us. It's actually can be really difficult for people who have experienced trauma. And so I would highly recommend doing an art project. This allows you to focus in on one thing for an extended amount of time, and it can help kind of allow your mind to focus and find some stillness and quiet that you might not find the rest of the day. One thing that really happens to me during the holiday season is my mind goes 1 million different directions. And so if you allow yourself to sit and focus on one art project for a little bit, your mind's going to actually be able to rest and focus on one thing, which is really wild during this time of year. All right, number 5. Turn off the radio in your car. A lot of us are running errands, going about and doing some shopping and doing things, and I find that sometimes just having the radio or my Spotify playlist playing in the background can just add one more level of noise. And so just turn off the radio and allow yourself to sit in that quiet and stillness and silence and just, oh my goodness, that can be such a wonderful way to get some of the noise out of your life for a little bit. All right, and number 5, my 5th idea for you is to practice centering prayer. And if you're new to centering prayer, I want you to know that it's as simple and as difficult as this. It's simply spending time in silence before God and accepting God's love for you. Yeah. So a lot of us want to do something when we're praying. We want to say certain words. We want to get in a certain posture. We want to make a list of what we're asking for. We want to say something. And centering prayer actually just says, God is present, acknowledge God's presence, and sit in God's presence. And just soak up God's love. That's it. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to be. Just be present. That's all you have to do. And that can be really, really, really difficult. And I think the reason it can be really difficult is because we are not good at finding this stillness and this quiet internally. And so centering prayer might be a really fun way for you to start practicing this and exercising it, and to just be in God's presence and see how God transforms you from the inside out just from intentionally being in God's presence. So really simple, set a timer for a couple of minutes. I think to start, try like 5 minutes. I like to use Insight Timer because it has like a nice bowl gong kind of sound at the end, which feels a little less jarring than my regular phone alarm. Set it for 5 minutes to start, and just be still and be in silence. And as much as your mind might wander, just bring it back to God's love, and allow God's love to just envelop you and cradle you and soak it in. So good, as easy and as difficult as that is. All right, so that's 5 ideas for you to combat the just normal noise and busyness of the season. I hope you can find some inner stillness and quiet this season.